This goes out to all the women in the world, especially her. You know it don't even matter your age, don't even matter your color. Your fellas, I ain't forget about y'all. This is for everybody that like things. Just listen to what I'm saying and do it and take a chance. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours and then put mine. We can dip down low and roll it grind. Just get on the floor like I said before. Y'all remember that down low. Just put little hips with it. Now roll those hips with it. Pop it, push it, rock it, roll it. Can't control it. I come hold it. It's all in fun, so take a chance. Just get on the floor and do that dance, y'all. I know you like it, so don't try to fight. Turn around, baby. Let me see you from the back. Yeah, I like it like that. Get up now. Roll those hips. Drop down, double up on those dips. Bring nasty wanna see and y'all do it right. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours and then I put mine. And we can dip down low and roll and grind. Back again with the second verse. It's all clean, so I'm not gonna curse. Drop the bass like a bad habit. Love all women, cause I got a hand. Coming at y'all in stereo. I'm riding that thing like a rodeo. Hang on, baby, cause the ride is rough, man. I got my girls in the front. Now and later, just bumping that rump. Raise it up, let me see that ground. Slap it, girl, make it jiggle around. Round and round that rump goes. Where it stop, yo, no one knows, yeah. Freak nasty wanna see, can y'all do this right? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, and then I put mine. And we can dip down low and roll and grind.
Well, all right, y'all. If you ain't dipping, you ain't tripping. You ain't doing it down low. Got to go. So the people that moving slow, just moving slow. Yo, DJ, pump it up to the bowl.
It's off to the show in a limo. Before the show, I gotta get that dough. Pay them girls what they work. Slip that money under that skirt. Take it out, baby, let me see. You might get a little more lip G-string, having up so much fun. Playing inside between them buns. Shorty got it going on like Mark. Teasing me, yeah, she know I'm starving. Lick you up, then lick you down. Now you finished, girl, turn around. Lick you up and down your back, cause I'm that freak, I'm freaky like that. Freak nasty wanna see, can y'all do this right? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, and then I put mine. And we can dip that low and roll and grind. I'm setting it off to another level. You digging freak nasty without a ship? This is my world. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. So what's up, yo, DJ? When the party's getting slow, join this jam and watch that flow get taken over like in '94. When I had the whole world getting down low. New Orleans born, ATL living. Freak nasty is what I'm giving. My juice is sweet like Georgia peaches. Women suck it up like leeches. It feels so good, you must admit you like this. Yeah, y'all know the song. So come on, won't you sing? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip.
All right, how's everybody doing? Oh wait, we got somebody add to the stage here. Let's see. We got Liam Gray, author of Dino Type and Xenotype.
Donna King and Xenotype. Kakashi Murder Dolls, a sacrificial soldier scarecrow. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Gotcha. Murder Brat Dolls. Check it out on
They're not murder brat dolls. Fuck you, man.
Speaking of murderous dolls, today Joker and Annabelle were just chilling. DC did a big crossover in their KO where they brought a bunch of like non-DC universe characters in through multiverse shenanigans, and one of them is Annabelle of all fucking people, for lack of a better term, and she's fighting the Joker, and they're just chilling, having a tea party. That's on my Twitter, Luke, if you want to look it up.
Will do. Will do.
Oh man. Oh, sorry, I'm getting over a bit of cold here. So, Luke, you saw Iron Lung too, huh?
Yep, I saw it. And it feels.
I got it. So I got invited to that. My buddy just wanted to see it, and he invited a bunch of people. I had no idea what it was. Never heard of the game or anything. And I'm sitting there and like I knew Markiplier was in it, but then I see like written and directed by Markiplier, and I'm like, oh no, is this gonna be like some Gen Z like fucking brain rot horse shit? And, like, oh god, is it just him playing the game for 90 minutes? But it turned out it's pretty good. I feel like everybody's glossing over the whole Ocean of Blood thing in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, I get that it's cosmic horror, and I don't expect all the answers to be given to me. But the fact that characters aren't asking these questions enough kind of bugged me a bit. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean blood? Whose blood? What blood? What are you talking about? How is that possible?
Yeah,
like just one person just doing that, and I think I would have been a little more satisfied.
Yeah, the game itself is very confusing and rough, and the movie perfectly reflects that. So it's a one for one, I guess.
I mostly liked it. Like I said, that's really my only real gripe is I feel like everybody's just, and I understand, it's the end of the universe and everything's, dying, and I understand that, but it's still like somebody should just be like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, well, they're trying to figure out how they can use it. And I'm like, I get that, but there still should be a what the fuck moment. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean?
Like if tomorrow my dog turned to gold, my first thought wouldn't be I'm rich. My first thought would be, what the fuck? How did that happen? Is it going to happen to me? What's going on?
Yeah.
I even have that thought before I miss my dog. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? But anyways, one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up is this movie was made on only $3 million. And you can see, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's very clearly low budget. There's almost no sets except the inside of this submarine. You could see, like, immediately I'm watching this and I'm like, it's not that it looks bad, but I could tell this costs almost nothing, So that was kind of cool. Like, only $3 million. I like that. I like that there's small budget movies that still look good, He made, I believe now it's at like 25 million, but Sunday night, or maybe it was Monday, I heard it had gotten to about 9 or 10 million, which placed it at number 2 for the weekend because it was January, now February, and that's not a big movie time, Nonetheless, a bunch of sites initially refused to count him in it. Like, he even did a video where they talked about how they he was showing up on the charts and they just knocked him out of it. Like, he should have been at least number 2, which I think is a little telling of Hollywood. I think I sent you that video, Luke, if you want to play it from Facebook, where he's talking.
Oh, yeah. I could put it up here just a second. That's not going to get us in trouble, will it? No, last week, our stream last week got popped because Luke was playing some Coco Melon clips because we were commenting on it. And the ghouls over that run Coco Melon decided to copyright strike us. I have, of course, disputed it. And everyone involved in Coco Melon should seek Canadian healthcare. Of course. What despicable pieces of shit. Honest to God, like, just absolute brain rot shit. Like, I'd rather a kid just watch a cartoon that's telling them, like, boys are bad and they should cut their dicks off. Because at least it's making them form thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, at least you could maybe work with that. It's not turning them into just a brain dead rage zombie. All right, let's play the clip.
Office numbers. I'm number one. So this is funny. This is on Friday. the box office numbers, I'm number one, right? I milked it a lot. I said it. It was very funny. I knew that Sam Raimi's movie was going to pass me eventually by the end of the weekend, but I was like, haha, I'm number one. But then I didn't see this yesterday, but here's Saturdays. So this is Saturday, right? I swear I was on this list, but Iron Lung isn't here anymore. There's no numbers for Iron Lung. It took me off the chart. And I thought, hey, maybe that's a fluke. maybe there's something wrong. But here's Sunday. I wake up this morning, which reports the day before his numbers. I'm gone. I'm not even above Hamnet. I'm nowhere. Zootopia's back up here. Avatar's up here. Melania's up here. I feel like I should just like maybe I'd be fine with here. I'd be fine with being on the chart. Why'd you take me off the chart? I feel like I deserve to be on the chart. So this is funny. This is on Friday.
So, okay, so Variety now, Variety.com is now talking about the movie and stuff. So, like, whoever in Hollywood decided to shadow ban this guy or whatever you want to call it, I guess they've kind of realized they can't do that. But my guess is probably Markiplier, didn't go to a special island where you fuck kids in the ass or something. And that's why he doesn't get to have his movie. I'm amazed he got to, because that's the other thing. Markiplier, look, I've never watched Markiplier. I have no connection to him as a YouTuber. I've seen maybe clips here and there, memes and shit. It's the kind of content I don't watch because I'm not a brain rotted fucking 90s or 2000 baby. But he seems like a decent guy. And this was a labor of love. He literally liked this video game. He was a multimillionaire. So he just bought the rights and took $30 million out of his own pocket and made the fucking movie. You got to respect that. Even if the movie turned out to be complete and utter ass, I would have to respect that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And Markiplier seems like a decent guy. I kind of put him in that PewDiePie camp where it's like, wow, he seems like a cool guy. I just never want to watch his fucking stupid content.
That's true. Like the most popular people are the people I don't normally would watch, and unfortunately, people I do watch don't nearly as popular.
But so he makes this movie $3 million, and it's already made. I mean, they say you need to make double once theaters get their cut and marketing is involved in shit. I don't know how much marketing really went into this movie, but let's assume you have to get double to get into the green. That it's really cost him $6 million. You know what I mean? All totaled.
Right.
Well, he's more than made that bag. He's at like 25 million. You know what I mean? I'd call it a pretty, I'll happily hand someone $6 to turn it into 25. In the course of 4 days.
Let's see what Box Office Mojo has to say if there's even on the list here. Oh, where are you? I'll have to find it just. Oh, here it is. Iron Lung. Here it is. See, worldwide 20 million.
I saw 25 on one, so
it probably is probably just delayed for verification.
Let's say it's 20 million. That's still impressive, and that ain't done. You know what I mean? That's he might actually go old fashioned and put fucking DVDs out. Who knows?
That'd be nice. Although I do really, it's very if I didn't know the video, I knew of the video game, and so if I didn't know the video game, it'd be very confusing. But I think he basically took the video game and gave it more depth.
I didn't know anything about it. Literally, it was like Thursday or Friday. My buddy texts me. He goes, he's like, "Do you work Saturday?" I'm like, "Well, I work 10 to 3 a.m. like 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. I mean, I'm free in the evening, early evening." He goes, "You want to come see Iron Lung with me and a couple other buddies?" I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'm in. Just fuck it. It's hanging out with buddies. You know what I mean?
Right.
You buying me a ticket. If it sucks, it's not, who cares? He literally just bought a bunch of tickets for us. So I'm sitting there. I had heard it was based on a video game. After that, I think I knew nothing of it, never seen anything of it. You know what I mean? I saw Markiplier was in it, which I was like, I don't know, that could be good or bad. Who knows? But I sat there just captivated. Again, I could nitpick it. There's things I would have kind of maybe touched up in it, but You know, like the whole last 30 minutes, I had to piss desperately, and I just was not missing anything. I was like, you know, because with my luck, then to finally explain some shit the moment I go take a piss.
But yeah, it was pretty intense though. Like limited budget aside, I thought it was pretty intense the way they decided to change what Markiplier decided to add and change to it. Because I mean, the game itself is very short and simple and a bit convoluted because you're just in a. It's kind of like when you play Five Nights at Freddy's for the first time. There are things that don't make any consistency. And so you just kind of go along with it because it's kind of the game. But he added some like character and personality to this. Like the characters, like you don't, as far as I remember, you don't actually see anyone except your character. No one else exists.
It's funny, the sets you do see aside from the sub, you see so briefly and from such like shitty angles that I expected that was done not just creatively, but so that you didn't have to really make the sets look very convincing and nice. I bet you if you freeze frame some of those moments and really zoomed in, you'd see, you know, the Teamsters coffee mug or some shit.
Right.
Like, I guarantee you that that's the case. And I'm not even saying that to dispute it. It's insanely impressive what, you know, that you could do that with $3 million. I know $3 million sounds like a lot of money, but good God, just not having the Teamsters shut you down in a Hollywood production is probably at least $1 million.
And all things considered, I did like the acting of everyone involved, even Markiplier.
Oh, I thought he was great. I thought, again, you know, you really had to sell a lot with not a lot of dialogue. I thought again, my only minor complaint is I'm not asking you to explain why there's an ocean of blood. I just feel like other characters should be asking those questions more than they seem to be.
Is this literally a meme on Calypse thing where there's like ocean of blood, a blood ocean, and like no one goes into it? Like, is it like a meme? Like,
no, it's
I know
an
nothing
ocean that's
about
made
this.
of blood. It's an ocean on a moon, or maybe the whole moon that's made of blood, living blood.
Yeah, I can explain. Supposedly,
human blood.
Yeah. Supposedly, humans have traveled the cosmos and colonized many worlds. Unfortunately, something happened where they just basically lost a lot of humans got separated from everyone. It's called the small rapture, and everyone is disconnected and lost all communication with no access to resources or manpower. And so their only means are trying to find resources on the few moons that are still around. And one of these moons just happens to have an ocean of blood, like actual human blood.
Yeah, and they're ignoring it, and I'm like, okay. And again, I know they're going for all sorts of cosmic horror shit where there's just inexplicable things that, oh my God, lead to some deeper, darker fucking reality. And I get that. I understand that. I'm not asking you to hand me an answer as to how and why there's an ocean of blood. It just really felt like the other characters weren't asking that question quite as much as they should have.
Did anyone ask?
I mean, they're exploring it, trying to understand it and all this stuff, but it's still like they seem more concerned because, again, they're very desperate. Everybody is dying. We're running out of everything. You know what I mean? They're talking about like maybe we could synthesize food from it. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but that's like really far down my list of fucking things I'd be thinking about in that moment.
It's basically a kind of like a slice of life of a post-apocalyptic story where the catastrophe has already been explained to the characters, but we don't get the explanation. So we're left trying to figure out what the explanation is.
Share my screen. But I found the trailer. Add
the stage. Why is it not?
Are we allowed to show the trailer?
I think I have to remove.
You'll be able to show this. It's fine. I'm just trying to be funny.
I guess I can add him now.
There we go.
No laws. The planets are being pillaged by space Vikings. Their life is secret to a sword father's maker who knows the identity of a serial killer. I know who you are! And the oil rig where the haunted crypt of Mamingdala Falafel lies. And the love where it happened at Space. Blood Ocean.
I mean, basically, yeah. Again, I like the movie. I thought it was good, but it definitely. There was definitely times where I'm like, "What do you mean it's an ocean of blood?" like literally.
I'll go check it out. You know what I mean?
Literally, one character, like somebody said, "What do you mean it's Wait, like Markiplier being like, "Wait, it's actual blood? I thought you meant it's a blood-like substance." No, it's actual blood. How the fuck is that? What do you mean it's blood? Whose blood? What blood? Like, we don't know. And I'd be like, okay, fine.
Is it all one type of blood? Is it like a congealed mix of blood?
No, it's living blood.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, one person just kind of reacted to this the way anybody should, and I'd be like, all right, fine.
And then later in the story, it's like, oh no, it's actual human blood. Like, oh, so it's what? Now that's never. I don't think that's ever explained in the game. I don't remember. But then all of a sudden, wait, it's human blood. Like, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah, whose blood? What do you mean it's blood? What?
This sounds like it's like an Evangelion thing, where it's like they've achieved human instrumentality and all merged as one creature, right? Like.
I don't know.
Like, because you mentioned Rapture, right? You mentioned Rapture, and then you said the blood is alive. Like, is it sending? Does it move around like fucking Hydra Man? Like, what?
No, it's just living blood. It's just
there's something
blood
inside.
Cells in it are alive somehow.
Oh, so the blood cells in it are just alive. So it's not okay. So it's not like an organism.
Well, there are things that are alive down
there. It's like an extension of a potential organism because they're living like almost sentient things in the blood. Like living in the blood, so we're not sure what they are about. It's like like kind of Cthulhu kind of nonsense. Except it's just
and then at the end, the blood starts leaking into the sub and turns into the fucking Carnage symbiote, kind of.
Now in the video game, the blood it's just so under pressure. In the game, he's so deep and so under pressure. He's about to get the last photo. All of a sudden, the ship smashes in. The giant monster eats him, and that's where the game ends.
Oh. So you lose in the end. That doesn't sound like fun. What if you? I'm gonna stick to my Bing Yahoos. You know?
It's supposed to be a scary experience, like a tense all the way to the moment. Like it's kind of like what Slenderman was before they decide to fix the ending.
I don't know. The game sounds like crap to me in gameplay sense because it's
pretty much, yeah.
I'm not even trying to be mean, but it's yet another thing where it's like a slow burn that ends with a jump scare. And it's like I've seen a lot of games like this. I'm kind of a little tired of them. That said, though, some of those could have really impressive and cool lore behind them. So, like, some of them would be better to make a movie out of than a game. So I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it. It's not the greatest thing I ever saw by any stretch, but it certainly was worth watching. You know, so
I watched Wonder Man. Have you seen Wonder Man?
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, have you seen it?
No, I didn't see it because why would I? I am so out of the MCU. I don't want to watch Black Wonder Man. I don't know. It's
okay. Well,
do you want to watch a D-list Avengers character that we butchered? I'll tell you what. If Wonder Man's hanging out with Kelsey Grammer's Beast, like old '80s Avengers, maybe.
No, he's hanging out with the Mandarin. Like the whole thing is him hanging out with the motherfucker that played the Mandarin.
Yeah, the actor, the Mandarin
Wait,
actor. Reminded me of the terrible twist of Iron Man 3.
Yeah. The whole fucking film, the whole thing is 8 hours. I regret watching it, man. I really do. But it's like, but I will say, not for the reasons you might think, right? Like, it was actually good for what it was. Just what it was terrible. So it was really well written. It was well acted. But it's basically about this guy that's got fucking kick-ass superpowers, who has been hiding the fact that he has superpowers because he wants to be an actor, and Hollywood won't hire him because in the 1940s in the early 2000s or whatever the fuck, Doorman, from West Coast Avengers, became a minor celebrity, and a guy jumped into him one time and never came out live on a film set.
Wait, what?
And so now the insurance is so high to hire superpowered people that Hollywood just doesn't employ you if you got superpowers. So this black fella's trying to hide the fact that he's got fucking kick-ass superpowers that he can't control. And he gets targeted by the DMC or whatever the fuck it is, the damage control crew, right? And they're like, hey, we got to fucking we want it's so the plot is great, but it's so fucking boring, man. Like the idea is they want to be able to open a prison so they can get this government grant. Like, there's nothing bad that has happened. Like, they need someone to arrest because that's super powered so that they can get funding from the government for this prison they want to run, so that they can basically slack off. So they want to this black dude and arrest him. And so they bail the fucking Mandarin out. They capture the Mandarin because he's got out of prison, right? And they basically say, hey, you're going to help us fucking frame this guy, basically, and get him and find out, catch him. And then the whole thing is a giant metaphor for gay relationships in Hollywood. As they sort of it's a metaphor, like an old school metaphor. Like, it's not on the nose, but it's definitely like young guy being mentored by the older gay guy. And his performance in it, the guy that played the Mandarin actually does fucking phenomenal. He is incredible.
Oh, yeah, Ben Kingsley's a great actor.
He is so good. And he is so fucking good. And basically his whole career's been ruined because he played the Mandarin. And now he's typecast as this supervillain, right? So he can't go anywhere or do anything. And in real life, he's this really nice guy. He's like Constantine. If Constantine had, charisma, you know what I mean? Like, he's like this old English, loser guy that's his whole life was ruined by drugs and shit. And now he's trying to turn himself around so he can be a professional stage actor to impress his mother. But
I'm so tired of the whole race swap thing. And I understand it's cliched at this point to even say it. Like, I'm going to be like that dude that looks like a thumb that was screaming about pronouns. But it is fucking tiring. And it's it's one thing when you're doing it and it's a really great actor. When it's and it, when it's Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White, it's I don't necessarily want a black Perry White, but Lawrence Fishburne rules, I'm not thrilled that they race swap Man-at-Arms in the He-Man movie, but it is Idris Elba. At least it's a decent actor. You know what I mean? It's fine, I guess. And it's a minor character, whatever. But it's when you're just doing it obnoxiously all the fucking time for no fun. Well, actually, no, there is a reason, because it's fuck Whitey is the reason. And, because we're not getting a white Blade, all right? We're not getting, that's not happening. It's not like this just goes both ways, okay?
I want an albino ginger Blade.
Yeah, well, let me get
what I mean?
Cindy Sweeney as fucking Storm in the next X-Men movie, and then maybe I'll be okay with his shit.
The only way that we're getting fucking Blade or any black character as a white person is if they gender swap it to be a woman and make it like a sexy white woman. That's the only.
To be clear, I don't want a white Blade. That's the other thing. I want you to try and find someone that looks like the fucking character.
Of course.
I want a good actor, of course. But I wouldn't want a fucking blonde Lois Lane.
I'll tell you what though, dude.
I don't want Peter Parker to be Asian. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't
I normally am on board with you. You know what I mean? I don't really like race swaps, but I didn't really care because I never really thought of Sam much as a white guy. I didn't think he wasn't, but I didn't think that was ever part of his identity. But it didn't bother me in this. But I'll tell you what, the guy that's playing Blade has the best fucking black guy voice. Oh, the guy that's playing Simon, right? Like the guy that's playing Wonder Man. Best black guy voice I've heard other than the guy that plays Goliath. If he doesn't do voice acting, he fucking should, man. Because he has the best black guy voice I've fucking ever heard besides, the Spawn Goliath guy. I forget his name.
Can I play the audio of the trailer?
Man, it's not. I'm a little gun shy. But
the thing that's the ultimate fuck you though, right? Beyond everything, right? Just to fucking sum it up, is we don't get Wonder Man for the entire fucking 8 hours, right? And then finally, at the end, we get this scene where he breaks his friend out of prison. I'm sorry for spoiling it for you. I'm sure you all care. He breaks his friend out of fucking prison after his friend sacrifices himself to give him a chance to be a Hollywood star. He goes into the fucking damage control guys, breaks him out, and he flies through. He finally activates his powers for the first time, fully embraces them. He flies through the roof. It zooms out to a worm's eye view. Okay. So imagine a prison cell. Imagine a prison. You're standing 500 meters in a paddock looking up at the sky. A dot the size of your fucking fingernail on the screen, barely that, shoots up out of the top of the prison with glowing sort of black and purple crackle around it and shoots off. You get 1 second of shot. You don't get to see what he looks like. You don't get to see the transformation to fucking Wonder Man. Nothing.
This is literally it's now a meme, but there was a tweet somebody had a couple years ago where it was like, in the 90s, if there would have been a show called Surfer Dracula, every episode Dracula would be fucking surfing under moonlight. Now, if there's a show called Surfer Dracula, it'll be 18 fucking episodes, and at the end of season 1, someone gives him a surfboard.
Yes, that's how it felt. And you know what? Again, I will say this in its regard, right? Writing-wise, this is the best written thing that Marvel is putting out when it comes to dialogue and character interactions with one another. Hands down, the best thing. Unfortunately, it's like a drama show. It's not a superhero show. It's a drama show about two actors. You might as well not even have them be superheroes or be in the Marvel universe. You could remove all of that, and the show would still be what it is. Like, nothing is relevant. Like, there's no villain. There's the villain is just a guy that's trying to find someone to be a fall guy so that he can fucking have his prison and get a government grant.
The villain is white people.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, he's white guy in a suit. Yeah. But I mean, there's no action. There's no action. Like, there's literally a whole fucking episode where they just go to a family fucking barbecue and eat Cajun food. You know what I mean?
There was one race swap in comic book movies that I genuinely think was so great. I actually almost considered an upgrade, and that's the Kingpin in the 2003 Daredevil movie. I love Michael Clark Duncan's Kingpin. And I can't think of a single white actor that certainly was as good of an actor of him that had the build of the Kingpin. As much as I love Detective Gorin, I can't think of the actor's name off the top of my head, in the Daredevil show, and as much of a presence as he is, he still doesn't have that giant fucking Kingpin build that Michael Clark Duncan had.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's basically your freak of nature, right? Like, you gotta find a freak of nature who can act. You know, it's not easy.
But yeah, I like the 2003 Daredevil. I don't like Jennifer Gardner as Elektra in it because I don't like Elektra that much as a character. I think Typhoid Mary's a better femme fatale and Karen Page is a better love interest. And Jennifer Gardner can act, and she was never pretty enough to make up for it. Everything else about the 2003 Daredevil, I think, works great. I
need to go back and rewatch it, man. I haven't seen it in many, many, many years, in many years. But I remember being excited that we're getting superhero movies. Here we are today.
I still like Ben Affleck's Daredevil. And I know people shit on Ben Affleck and they talk about all the movies he was terrible in, but you got to understand that there's kind of two Ben Afflecks. And this has always been true of Ben Affleck. There are two Ben Afflecks in each of us? No. Yes. Inside you are two Ben Afflecks. One of them is just cashing a check, and the other cares about the project. And it entirely depends on which one shows up for that movie. Because they're two vastly different things. One is amazing, and the other just does not give a fuck and just is clearly oozing fuck this movie throughout the whole thing. And it was because Ben Affleck loves Daredevil. He grew up on them comics. He gave his all in that fucking movie, and it shows.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. Not today, but I'm gonna do it. But yeah, and the other thing that came out that I saw, man, was the new Muppet Show. So the new Muppet Show came out.
I heard today. That's out. Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, it wasn't a fucking shit show. You know what I mean? It wasn't terrible.
Well, I heard Kermit on fucking, I think Kimmel. There's a clip going around Twitter, and that is the worst Kermit voice I've ever heard.
Yeah, look, everyone's been fucking saying
I could find anybody could do a better Kermit voice. It's so bad.
The story around why Kermit got fired is crazy. I won't drag the whole show off it. We can talk about it another time on my show where, I'm not going to ruin your show with it. But, the story behind why the original voice actor of Kermit was fired is one of the most scandalous, heinous.
The original voice actor of Kermit died.
Sorry. The guy that was groomed to replace Jim. The guy that Jim had hired to be his successor.
He was groomed, was he?
Yeah, since he was.
I'm just picturing Jim Henson going, "You're so mature for your age."
Yeah. I mean, he was brushing his hair and shit. You know, no, he hired him. He hired him when he was like 17 years old, and he was the guy that was meant to be the steward and gatekeeper of the Muppets. And then they did that god awful fucking like reality TV show of the Muppets. If you guys remember that, where
About
Miss
10 years ago, I kind of remember.
yeah,
that.
yeah, where Kermit and Miss Piggy had broken up and shit, and it all came down to like Robin the little frog came along, and instead of just telling Robin and explaining divorce to him in a mature way, like Kermit would have, he felt, Kermit instead lies to him. So not only is Kermit lying and cheating on Piggy, but he's also lying to Robin and stuff. And the voice actor of Kermit, who Jim had picked to take over when he died, said like, look, Kermit wouldn't do this. This isn't what the characters would do. Like, we're meant to be the caretakers of these characters, and I feel like
what is up with with that fake Miss Piggy that he was like the replacement?
They wanted him cheating on what they wanted him to.
How did they make a pig that gives off total "I'm white but my kids aren't" vibes?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
How did you do that?
Yeah. They just made a whore. They made a whore pig. That's what she is. She's a whore pig, man. But
honest to God, it should have pussy in bio. Fucking right.
But yeah, but like, so he got fired. They said you're shit can. And since, does anyone else want to talk about what the old Muppets are? Because this is the new Muppets. This is Disney. And like 2 or 3 other people left with him, and that was it. And ever since, we've had this new Kermit, right? And his voice you can kind of get used to. You can sort of, it's not too bad in the new Muppet Show, but it's not good. But his singing is just terrible. He's singing like Jim had this sort of softness in the singing, and the new Kermit is just really nasal. And unless they fix that,
they really haven't sounded right since Jim died.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it's like that Family Guy bit where it's like it's wrong sounding Muppets, like
wrong sounding Muppets. Yeah, but it's like even more extreme now. Like, but I thought the thing that sort of is annoying though, right? The reason I even bring it up sort of out of the blue isn't just because I'm a Muppet nerd, but because like in it they say if this does well, maybe we're going to be able to bring the show back. But then like on social media, there's no way for me to like support the show or like. There's no like.
Well, you have to subscribe to that Pigs Only fans.
Yeah, there's no like official Twitter, man. There's no like Disney saying, "Did you enjoy the latest Muppet Show?" or anywhere to gather or anything. Like, there's nothing to show support for the show besides like I can retweet people that said they liked it.
Well, okay, so 2 things about this. In the old days to measure ratings, it was very, we literally gave like 5,000 people in all of America a box to measure their fucking TVs, and we had to guess from there. You know what I mean? It's like taking a teaspoon of the ocean and trying to figure out if there's sharks in it. It was always pretty flawed, or how we measured ratings. Nowadays, we live in a fucking technological hellscape where everybody knows everything you've ever fucking watched and all. Like Netflix and Disney Plus and all these things, they know who's watching what. They know how long they're watching it. They've never been able to measure ratings better. Now, the flip side of that is they never tell us what the fuck any of the ratings are. That's the odd flip side to that. But to play devil's advocate, they know how well this show is doing, down to how many minutes of it you watched. Trust me, if they weren't just trying to push evil demonic shit on us all the time, they could give us all exactly what we want before we even knew we wanted it. Like, This is a tool that they have that they are completely misusing, but it's a wonderful tool in some respects, and they're just not using it properly.
Man, it's so annoying because I'm like, so you gave me a 30-minute episode of the fucking Muppet Show, right? Which is great. Okay, you gave me a 30-minute episode of like the classic Muppet Show. It's missing a little bit of the edges. It's only 3 acts. You don't have many minute smaller segments. It's very hyperactive, but like it's not like an hour-long special. It's a 30-minute special. No news regarding whether there's going to be a sequel or if it's just the first episode of something. And this is the thing that I wanted to bring up with you, right? At the very end of the show, right, after you go through all of the credits and all of this shit, it's credited as being created by Fox, not Disney.
What?
It has the Fox. Yeah, it ends with the big Fox logo thing. You know, like the 20th Century Fox thing comes up in the end.
That's fucking weird.
I mean, Disney owns them, but why would they show it like that?
I get that, but like, I don't think the Muppets had ever been on Fox.
Well, it's
I know
20th
that like
Century
in the
Fox,
90s there was a revival, but they were on ABC.
Yeah. So I don't know what that meant, and I looked around very briefly. I'm very tired. I haven't slept properly in 2 days, but like, but I looked around online and no one's mentioning that at all. And I'm like, does this mean something? This seems like it's a big deal, but no one's. I'm not sure about how things are set up over there and everything. You know what I mean? But like, I tried looking on Fox for announcements of like Muppet stuff or anything like that. I Googled it and stuff, and nothing came up. Nothing in Twitter. So I just don't know. I'd need someone with better Blue's Clues stuff, or I don't know. Like, I don't even know what's going on with Fox since Disney absorbed it. Like, is it still a channel over there? Like,
I mean, I believe it is. I don't have cable, but yeah, Fox is still a channel. I think the studio is now just called 20th Century Studios.
Yeah.
Which I only kind of know because every time there's like an Aliens or whatever crossover at Marvel, it's called 20th Century Comics. Which there was a Planet of the Apes Fantastic Four crossover started this week. It's pretty fun. It's just it starts off with the Red Ghost and his Super 8s. They're breaking into the Fantastic Force building because they want to steal their dimensional device or whatever. Because it's like the worlds are aligned just now. I need it, and so they fight. And the Fantastic Four end up shunted over to the Planet of the Apes universe where Red Ghost was trying to get to, and they lost their powers along the way. So they get taken captive, classic Planet of the Apes style, and there's a big trial, and they call them heresy and all this other stuff. And
Cool.
then a bunch of apes randomly get the Fantastic Four's powers because I guess that's where they went. And cool, it's fun so far. I love this kind of goofy shit, man. I love comics for this.
Dude, I love Planet of the Apes, and it's the most stupid fucking. Oh, it's monkeys. But you know, if you had said to like Teenage Liam, "Oh, Planet of the Apes," I would have said gay. But I fucking love it. I watched all of it. I love the remakes. I love the original stuff. You know, the only thing I don't own that I'd really like to own is like the television live action series that they had and the animated cartoon for a while.
Somewhere in the 90s, late 90s, early, maybe it might even been 2000, but I think it was like 98 or 99. I think it was AMC or maybe it was Turner Classic Movies, but it was probably AMC. AMC used to be really, really old movies. I mean, like 40s and 50s, like barely anything ever colorized. And they decided at that point that they wanted to get a little bit more modern, you know, like maybe your parents' movies instead of your grandparents' movies. And so, again, this was like 98 or something. They decided to start this new rebranding with a Planet of the Apes marathon. And I think I had seen the first one, like rented it, but that was when I watched like all 5 of them. But anyways, speaking of comics, Liam, I'm glad you're here because I'm going to shit on your entire business model for a moment.
That's great. Thanks.
So over at Dynamite, they're doing a lot of Disney comics and just comics based on Disney villains. I haven't really been reading any of them. I don't really care in most cases. Which I'm not even, you know, if you want to fucking read a comic book about Scar from Lion King, good for you. I mean, it's just not my thing. But anyways, the Scar from Lion King comic just finished its first story arc, so Dynamite has decided we're going to crowdfund the trade paperback to it because this comic that we've already produced, we definitely need everybody's help for us to put a fucking collection in bookstores.
So wait a minute, let me hear this again. It sold so well that they want to put it in bookstores. Is that
it I don't know what it sold. I don't. But the point is, they finished the first story arc, and now it's time for a trade paperback. and you, the fucking customer, need to crowdfund that from this established company with
They're
an
going to
established
kill
IP.
the fucking bookstores, man. Okay, hey, we
I
want to
don't
put
know
this
if they're
thing-
putting it in the book. Point is, why do I need to crowdfund it? Just print the fucking thing and send it to Barnes and Noble if you want.
I 100% agree with you. But think about this, right? If their ultimate goal is to print it and send it to bookstores, right? Then essentially what they're doing is they're going, hey, everyone who would be interested in this product, buy it directly from us so that we can then unload what we don't sell to bookstores and get potentially extra money that way. Like,
Look,
it's kind of dickheaded. You know,
comics are not extremely expensive to make. No, they cost something. Printing costs something, but it's not a movie. It's not a video game. It's not even a board game.
You can produce a high quality professional graphic novel for around between $12,000 and $16,000 US, including shipping.
So, I understand why small little creators want to use crowdfunding. I get it.
Yeah,
and I don't begrudge them that. But I said from the get-go, it needs to be treated as an ask. It needs to be treated as what it kind of essentially is, and that's fucking charity. Speaking of which, speaking of charity, extrememabs.com/thebeglov. Look, I got my hand out, but I ain't fucking acting like I don't have my hand out. All right?
Yeah.
It needs to be treated that way. And it needs to be something where the moment you are big enough that you can get away from it, you should be expected to do so. In the same way, if you were on, like, you can't go to the welfare office after you won the lottery. Like, that's not acceptable. We don't allow that.
Yeah.
So when I see, and I'm not naming names because I'm not trying to fight with anybody, but when I see certain people in the crowdfunding sphere who have bragged about the fact that they've made $10 million on their fucking IP since crowdfunding their next fucking issue, I look at that and I think, that's slimy. That's fucking slimy. And I don't want to hear this shit about, well, no, you don't understand. It's the next model. The brick and mortar store isn't sustainable. This crowdfunding model isn't sustainable either. It's not sustainable to charge $25 for a single issue comic that comes out in 2 years. Again, not naming names. And it's a comic I like, but that's not sustainable either. That's milking pay pigs is what that is. And you can make a living milking pay pigs, but don't call it sustainable. And then, and I said this was going to happen with the fucking attitude everybody was taking towards this shit. What ended up happening? Well, next thing I know, a year or two ago, I see Skybound say, hey, we got the Transformers license. We want to put out a good compendium of the Marvel shit. Go ahead and crowdfund it, pay pigs.
You know,
hey, we're Top Cow. We want to put out compendiums of Witchblade and Darkness and Cyberfrog. Crowdfund it, pay pigs. Hey, we're Dynamite, and we want to put out a trade paperback of a story arc we just finished, like every company just does automatically. Crowdfund it, pay pigs.
Yeah.
And these are all for reprints.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's grim times, man. And it's not always easy going out there and crowdfunding either. Like just today, I was accused of stealing from customers, right? So stealing from customers, just so that you got context, is I had a whole bunch of people. My books, they sell for about $100 to $200 on the USD on the secondary market. They're very rare because I do small print runs and I try to make them so they're collector's editions for like the people who get them. And so that anyone who buys extra sort of makes extra money on the if they want to sell extra ones off. You know, I don't do big print runs, and they're very limited. And so, like, what was happening was I had these retards during COVID who were essentially going, hey, because the Australia's tracking shut down during COVID, so I couldn't track packages. So I kept sending these guys books, and they kept going, my book hasn't shown up. Fuck you, Liam, my book hasn't shown up. And then they were secretly getting the books and then selling them for like 3 times as much on eBay and Amazon and stuff so that they could then make money off me. And me being a dickhead, I kept sending them books. I ended up sending like some of these guys like 7 books as replacements. And it cost me a fair amount of money to ship it each time. But I just wanted everyone to have their books, you know, so they could read them and enjoy them. And then when the tracking finally got fixed, I went, wait a minute, these were delivered. These were delivered to you. Everything's back online now. I can see that they were delivered and signed for at your house. They then turned around and said, I never got them, prove it. And I sort of showed people. And then they said, oh, you're doxing me. And I was like, well, I didn't show your address or nothing. But then they're like, that could be anyone. And I'm like, fucking, this is ridiculous. You know, like I literally just want people to enjoy their books and get their stuff.
But hang on. I don't have the alerts up, so I got to interrupt manually. Vander sends $5 and says, did you get your Streamlabs working? Streamlabs is working. I just don't have it set up where the alerts will pop up on it for the audience. They pop up for me, though. So I see it, and I will read it, but I haven't set it up yet to where everybody else sees it with the little dancing Bulbasaur and have you heard of Jesus? We don't have that set up yet. We will get that figured out somehow.
Point I was trying to make, I guess, is there's costs. And reputation is like whatever a lot of people say, and they think they can fleece you, they will. So it's like you got customers that are going to try and fleece you, and then you've got these big these big companies that are trying to fleece you too. It's the customer, and it kind of sucks that we can't just do fair, honest trade and business and enjoy each other's product. You know, like here's a good comic. You know, like.
Well, again, here's my point. I don't think that crowdfunding is something that just shouldn't be. It is something that is easily abused, and it's something that's being abused. And I don't think accepting it as just a normal model is okay. Mm-hmm. I think it's something that should be done when you're starting out, or when you are in a position, but you're trying to get to a bigger level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're making comics and you want to step into making action figures, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand that. But if it's just like, yeah, I'm on issue 12 of my comic that is making tons of money and I'm crowdfunding it still, I'm like, at that point, you should have just evolved into a store where I can just buy your fucking thing.
The problem for a lot of people in the comic book industry is that, like, it's simply not affordable. So, like, you've got a lot of these guys in the indies, right? And this is the black pill, isn't it? I'm about it. It's like what they've made isn't good enough. So if they were to sell it for like, $6 an issue or whatever the fuck they're charging these days for comics, I don't even know anymore, out of the loop. But like they wouldn't sell enough copies to cover their costs, and that's it. That's the end of their business, But if they are crowdfunding, they can go, oh, I'll do $25 and I need to sell less of them so that I can meet my goal and produce it. And even with that, you've got people struggling to get over like a few $1,000s. But as it is, like, I like the idea that if you fail, you can always refund the money to the backers for crowdfunding. But a lot of these guys I've seen will keep it. No one talks about that. They'll be like, oh, I didn't fund. I'll keep that $2,000 and I'll do it again. And it's like, no, give that back, man. Give that back to the people. If you're not giving them anything, give it back.
And look, I'm a physical media purist, and I always have been.
Me too, yeah.
If you're doing indie comics, a lot of these guys should be considering putting up digital comics, trying to put it behind a paywall, trying to put it, trying to even take donations or advertisers or whatever you got to do. There are a lot of things that went into physical comics that started out as digital comics from indie creators in the last 10, 15 years.
Comics used to make money by ads. Now it's treated like ads, like, you're better than ads. It's like, well, fucking comics were full of ads. Make fun ads. You know what I mean? Like,
and by the way, I also know that indie comics are more expensive. I remember the days of like the mid to late 90s. And, it's like, I usually just, what we used to call that, Byrne stole it, because John Byrne called it stealing. But I would often read it at the stand when it came to shit like Witchblade. And you know why? Because a regular comic at Marvel was $1.50 to $2 at that point, when Witchblade was about $3, maybe $3.50. And also Witchblade had a lower page count because it was about fucking 10 pages of butt fucking ads in the end. It wasn't, when it comes to just it wasn't the best value in that sense. Now, I did really like Witchblade, and when I was a little older and I had more money, I bought it. But, when money was tighter, I didn't.
Yeah.
And I say all that to say, yeah, indie comics are going to be more expensive. I understand that. But when you're charging like $25 for a single issue, I don't know, man. The whole thing starts to feel like you're bending people over. The whole thing starts to feel like, are you selling a comic or are you selling like a culture war or a parasocial relationship with your audience or something, which a lot of these guys are. You know, and that's fine. I mean, nobody's held at gunpoint. Nobody's being robbed here, but it's like, I don't want to hear lectures about sustainability or what's good for the fucking industry then, because that's neither of those things.
Mm-hmm. I really want to be able to, man, my goal is I'm still trying to find that one artist who just can produce shit at a regular pace that isn't fucking nuts, that can take my storyboards and turn them into full books. Because, like, truth of the fucking matter is, man, I can't stream like I'm doing and run the farm and run the fucking publishing business, edit, write, storyboard, and do the art all at once. I'm one guy. It's just not sustainable for me. And I would love to be able to find a reliable artist who's talented enough that they just, here's my script, take the money, go. And I had that with like Dino King too. But then like the dude's house got fucking destroyed in a flood. And then his wife needed surgery. And they had like a 7-year-old daughter. So fucking it became this big drama where I had to fucking, essentially, I didn't have to, but I felt as a Christian, I felt responsible to help fucking get this guy into a house so that him and his injured wife and 7-year-old fucking daughter aren't sleeping in a shelter with a bunch of other people, so that he could work on my book still. And it's like, just in the hells of making comic books, man, aren't like how hard it is or how costly it is. It's just finding someone that'll fucking do the job, you know? I need that Mirage pairing up, you know? I need that Eastman Laird fucking just, I write the books, dude draws them, and we make great shit each month. And it seems to be dead. Comics are easier than ever to make, and no one seems to want to fucking actually do the work to do it, you know? It sucks.
Chat brings up the alternate covers and yeah, that's ridiculous. Dynamite in particular, IDW is pretty guilty of this. Dynamite's probably the worst offender of the major companies when it comes to just every book they put out has like 47 fucking covers.
Yeah.
And that's not, there's no point to that.
You know,
DC does that quite a bit too, yes.
Yeah, it's great artificial scarcity. And so that, hey, you want to get like this cover, you've got to like order like 10 covers.
You have, this is a 1 in 100 cover, and it's like,
we call it predatory.
The comic book store isn't going to sell 100 issues of this particular comic. Maybe they're not.
We call it predatory publishing, man. That's the one thing that, like, I had a whole bunch of people going, "Oh, Liam, you only made like 100,000. You only like did top of your country." And it's like, these other guys did this and this. And I look over at their campaigns, and it's like, I've got one cover on everything I've done, and these guys are like nearly are like 6 to 7 fucking covers on the same shit they're doing and selling the same thing over and over. And I'm like, well, if I was to do the same fucking skeevy thing, then fucking I'd make 7 times as much money. I'd be at like 300,000, 400,000, but I don't fucking do that. You know,
one thing that they'll do with alternate covers that genuinely pisses me off, and this has been going on for about a decade. DC and Marvel in particular will do this a lot. I really fucking hate alternate covers that have nothing to fuck to do with what's going on in the thing. Like before Marvel finally pulled the pin on doing Alien and Predator crossovers, which they took a long time to do that. It was kind of odd once they were doing comics with them. But they did a bunch of alternate covers where it's like Spider-Man fighting the Predator, or, you know, aliens fighting fucking Venom or something like that. And, you know, you'd see these on the shelf and you'd be like, holy fuck, is it Xenomorph fighting Venom? It's like, no, that's just bullshit. It's just a normal issue of Venom. And there would just be other stuff like that. I honestly remember like digging through a dollar bin a few years ago. Probably the better part of a decade ago, but I was digging through a dollar bin just looking for shit to read. It was back when I had my stand, you know, so I would be reading comics, you know, off of its money, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting stock. Really, I'm just getting shit I want to read. And I dig up some. It was in the New 52 era, but it was like Superman hanging out with the Green Lantern Corps, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I was like, I'm always up for that. And I threw it in a pile. And when I finally went through it, it was a fucking alternate cover celebrating like the 80th anniversary of Green Lantern or some horseshit like that. And I'm like, that's annoying.
Yeah,
like somebody picks that comic up. Like imagine if that was a dollar bin thing I picked up. But imagine if I was like grab that off the shelf new because I was like, oh hell yeah, Superman hanging out with Green Lantern. It's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
He's nowhere in this book.
Yeah, that sucks, man. That sucks. But...
So yeah, that's very annoying. Illustrator brings up something here. He goes, I have a great idea. Comics with alternate content, same exact cover, different story inside. Pure genius, don't steal it. So back in the 90s, there was an Ultra Force Spider-Man crossover, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there were two, this was when Ben Reilly was Spider-Man, and there was the hero Green Goblin, just to date it.
Yep.
And there was 1A
Phil
and 1B.
That's Phil Ulrich or Ulrich? Yep.
There was 1A and 1B. And the way this worked was the first like third of this comic was identical. And then part of Ultra Force splits into two, and Spider-Man goes with one of them and Green Goblin goes with the other of them for like, I don't remember exactly what they were doing. Whatever. It's like split up, guys. And there was like 6, 7, 8 pages that were different in the middle of this book. Because 1A had the different middle with Spider-Man, and 1B had the different middle with Green Goblin. I actually found that annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Because most of the comic was identical, and I had to buy the two.
Yeah. That's interesting, though. It's interesting.
Well, they were throwing a lot of shit at the wall in the late 90s.
If you were to throw the same... Okay, so here's the thing I'll say for the guy in the chat. Like, it's an interesting idea of throwing the same cover on the book, right? But let's get into like the anatomy of the business of this, right? So like, what is your cover ultimately at the end of the day? Your cover is your hook for the audience. It's your ad for your book. So if you release the same cover again and again and again, people, after the first time they see it, they're not going to be enticed to buy it a second time. So you're going to damage your sales in the same way that doing a variant cover boosts sales. You'll suffer the same thing. So if you've got different content inside your inside the book, and the average person or that might be picking that book up might not know. You know what I mean? So
here's how dumb you got to always remember that your customers are stupid. A lot of people are stupid. Yeah. I'm sorry to tell you. So recently they did the two different Deadpool Batman crossovers, right? So we had Deadpool Batman published by Marvel. And we have Batman Deadpool published by DC. Now, you would think Batman Deadpool would be the one that would sell better because it was written by Grant Morrison and drawn by Dan Mora, both of which are very hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool Batman outsold it by a considerable margin. And do you want to know one of the biggest reasons? Motherfuckers didn't know it was two different comics.
Yeah, I didn't know it was two different comics.
Now, part of that is because we flooded the market with variant covers. It used to be if you looked at two comics and had different covers, you just knew they were different fucking comics. But the other part is they're stupid. And they didn't realize that, oh, wow.
Hey, I'm not stupid. You're stupid. I didn't know. There was so many
Deadpool isn't the same thing. Now, I happen to think the Marvel one was better, but I'm in the minority there. Everyone liked the Grant Morrison story where he jerked himself
I'm
off.
shocked because I didn't. That's the only one I read. I only read the Grant Morrison one with like...
I hated it.
All the meta gay shit, man. I was like so pretentious. I was like, oh, man, this is Grant. This is... far for even you.
And I like Grant Morrison a lot of times.
Yeah, so do I.
I hated that comic so much because it wasn't about Deadpool or Batman or Deadpool meets Batman. It was about Grant Morrison sucking his own cock.
Exactly. It was just Morrison fluffing himself. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it was. I felt like I walked in on him jerking off. As I'm reading through this comic, I'm like, I'm sorry, Grant. Should I give you some privacy? I didn't mean to disturb you.
Yeah, no, he wants you to watch. He wants you to watch.
He just locked eyes with me and just kept going slow. And I'm like, oh, God, no. Yeah. I felt violated by the end of that comic.
He taps a few buttons onto that cosmic laptop of his, and the locks on the door behind you just snap shut, you know? You're like, oh.
I hated that one. I hated it so much. I don't, look, I'll say this as an aspiring writer. I know I've been working on my book for a million years. But if there's one thing I generally think sucks from writers, I don't want you. You shouldn't write about writers or writing or the art of storytelling or any of this other stuff. Generally speaking, it can be done well. Sure, anything can. But generally speaking, it's self-indulgent tripe.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah.
I don't want to hear. I want you to tell me a fantastical story about superheroes from other dimensions meeting. I don't want your fucking thoughts on the process. You fucking
man. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I fucking hate. I have people be like, "Hey, Liam, why don't you do more? Liam, why are you doing these videos about this or that? Why don't you do more videos on the process?" I'm like, "Fuck, I can tell you my process in fucking 5 minutes. I write in a 5-act Shakespearean structure rather than a 3-act structure. I believe it gives you more characters, ups and downs, and is more engaging, is better for the comic book medium. I try to make compelling and interesting characters who are like people you might sort of know or recognize from your own life. Common personality types. I try to make it inspiring, and I focus on what pages and panels are going to look the most visually interesting to someone flipping through the book. And then I think of how I weave a story around that. I've got at the end of every page, I have a page turner, and within every 3 pages, I have at least one joke, to keep the audience going through and reading. That's it. That's my whole process. There you go. You know what I mean? And and I win awards and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got these other people that are like, oh, I've got to make this giant fucking eidolon of masturbatory self-indulgence. And I'm just like, storytelling is a service. It's like, you're the kind of guy that thinks that when Christ comes to earth, he's going to be shooting laser bolts out of his fucking eyes and a 50-foot taller made of bronze. When he actually shows up, he's a carpenter. You're a storyteller. You're there to entertain the reader.
Yeah,
you're
but
not
the second time he shows up, he might be like that.
Yeah, he might be like that because he had enough of the shit. But what I'm saying is you're there to provide a service to the person reading the book and to make them, happy or sad or angry or just go through a story that they enjoy. You're not there to make yourself look good. It's pretentious and
I find the best way is to write horny and then edit with post-nut clarity.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the modern I hate feeling like an old man, dude. I feel old. I look around and everything's shit. And it feels bad because I look back at the stuff we've got from the past and I go it's all great, but it's shit. For instance, the old 80s He-Man cartoon. I love it. It's got Paul Dini, it's got Stravinsky, it's got a lot of great stories in it, but it's garbage, right? And I'm the biggest He-Man fan in the fucking universe, but it could be easily updated to be great. They nearly did it in the 2000 series. They got real fucking close.
I love the 2000 series. I think
it's great, but it's great. But in my opinion, it's not the greatness that Motu can be, right?
I think the best He-Man stories. Everyone thinks of He-Man as a dead brand, and it doesn't feel that way to me because he's had such a presence in comics for the last 15 years.
Yeah,
but
it annoys me. It annoys me because I feel like
banging He-Man comics in the last few years.
Yeah, I just feel like Motu never got the chance to be what it could be. What it should have been. And
I'm cautiously optimistic with this movie.
I hope so. But I had a moment where someone just posted a screenshot of Dolph Lundgren as He-Man in a pose with a sword, and then this new guy with He-Man in the sword in the same pose. And I sort of looked at him, and I looked at Dolph Lundgren, and I looked at him. I looked at Dolph Lundgren. I thought, man, this modern He-Man's a bit of a twink He-Man. He's a really young twink He-Man. Couldn't we have just oiled him up a bit, and put a bit of oil, some smudges and dirt on him and something.
Fairness, Dolph Lundgren was an absolutely dog shit actor.
Yeah, but he looks like a fucking he looks like a fucking god though, man. He looks fucking cool as shit. It doesn't his acting might be garbage, but he looked cool. He was 2 men wide. He's got all this muscle definition. It looks really good. But like I was sort of saying before I fucking get off the point, I look at Motu, right? We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's probably the best example of being reinvented successfully for new generations. You've
Uh-oh. I think he cut out.
Right?
You cut out for a minute there.
Oh, sorry. I just said we grew up with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is probably the best example of reincarnating for the new genres, right? For the new generations. But we also had stuff like G.I. Joe, Transformers, these things that are creative cultural institutions that carry everything else. You've got Gargoyles and Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, you know, all of this stuff that like, it's like top-notch shit. You go back and watch that original DuckTales animated series. I bought it. You go back and rewatch that shit. The animation in that is fucking top-notch for television animation. I was amazed by the quality of it by today's standards. And I feel like we got all of this great stuff, right? And like new stuff, everything we have today, it's shit. Just today, I was showing a clip from an animated series that is absolutely phenomenal called The Animals of Farthing Wood. Basically, no one knows what it fucking is. Anyway, this hunter shoots this deer in the head, right? And the deer is midair, and it spins, and it comes down, and its head bends, and it sort of tumbles over itself and falls dead. If you just did that today, with easier animation techniques and everything, it'd just be a gunshot, and the thing would just fall over flump. But it's like, our craft has atrophied to the point of ridiculousness. Cal Arts dominated the space, and, you know, it's lazier than Hanna-Barbera. You know, I don't know what happened to our animation and our heroes and our stories. Like, well, I do know. I feel like, you know, once upon a time, you know, there were laws, so you had to fucking, if you wanted to sell something, it had to be something someone wanted to buy. And you had to be smart about it because you couldn't sell to kids. So you had to make classic stories. And now we don't get fucking cool stories and shit. Fucking, anyway, I'm ranting. I've been trying to find cool shit to watch with my wife, and there's nothing, man. It's fucking, everything's shit.
Yeah, I mostly watch old shit. I mean, hell, even like Turtles, I found I was like, you know, watching the 2012 and the 2003 series mostly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Star Trek. I mean, good God, Star Trek's a fucking joke now.
Oh, yeah. I tried putting on that new Star Trek Academy, right?
I don't know why you would do that to yourself.
Well, I just hoped. And I literally lost.
I tried shoving razor blades up my ass and it hurt. It's like, yeah I know. You shouldn't do that to yourself, Liam.
Well, dude, I lasted all of like, I think 2.5 minutes because like it's all orange and brown and all the lighting is shit and you can't see anything and it's all grim and shit and that's how it starts out. Like, go watch the first like couple of minutes of the episode and I'm like, this isn't Star Trek. Like this, so, I don't know what this is.
There's a channel I watch, Feral Historian, and I give him a shout out because it's a great channel. If you haven't watched
awesome channel.
Yeah, he covers a lot of sci-fi stuff. He's sort of right-wing, but I mean, not really. He's just, you know, he's just a fucking thinking man that's open-minded. And he had a video where he talked about the penguin that everybody had been covering, you know, the little penguin that went to the mountain, you know, that we had all been making memes of for a week. And he talked about how there's no sense of heroism or drive on the left. And when you look at like classic Star Trek, yeah, it was left wing, but it was left wing in an aspirational way.
Yes.
You know, and that's gone from the left right now. And that's why they can't make a Star Trek. I mean, the most Star Trek we've gotten in the last 20 years has been from the Family Guy dude. And that's because he's an old school 1990s leftist.
Yeah.
You know, we brought up on this channel years ago.
TikTok before he's fucking canceled too, right? Like he's always on a razor's edge.
We talked about on here years ago how, like, you know, even something like Hugh Hefner back in the day, you know, okay, yeah, that was left wing, it was hedonism, it was party, but there was still, if you ever read old Playboys, there was still something aspirational about it. There was still something about like, here are articles on how to be the best man, how to be best dressed, and what's the best liquor, and you know, how to live the best life. You know, how to get all you can. It was like this aspirational hedonism where it's like, here's how to get all you can out of life and squeeze the most juice out of this. Whereas now it's just like, well, hook me up to my VR porn and inject corn syrup into my veins.
Yeah.
You know, like, so there is a I am not as right wing as I appear, and by that I mean in a sane society I'm probably what you'd call left wing, because my right wing credentials are essentially I believe in God and I want my taxes lowered.
Yeah.
You know, my social
and to stay
conservative
off your-
credentials are
and to stay off
basically
your lawn-
leave
and to stay
kids.
off your lawn, right? And to stay off your lawn, is that also one of your values or not?
Well, yeah, and like my social conservative values are essentially leave kids alone.
Yeah.
Like, beyond I don't give a fuck what you do, you know. Like in a sane society, I'd probably be considered more left wing. Certainly, if you look at like left and right wing as temperaments, which they kind of are, I'm probably along those lines. I think there's a lot of people in the modern Republican Party that are not naturally belonging there, but they've just been chased away by what the fuck the Democrats have become.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that a healthy society has both of those drives in it. I think you need them. I think you need a push-pull. I think you need tradition, and I think you need people that are willing to buck tradition, because sometimes tradition is bad. Not all the time, probably even most of the time it's good, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes tradition can become perverse.
Yeah.
There's
nothing aspirational on the left.
Something that was once a habit because it was was healthy or productive can become religious because of ignorance and can lead to problems that weren't originally in the system. I agree with you 100%. 100%.
But yeah, it's a great video, and he talks about, like I said, there's nothing aspirational on the left, and there isn't. It's modern leftism has become, the aspiration of modern leftism is that the last human being's skull is smashed up against a rock for being more privileged than the rock. Like, it's just suicide. It's just stagnation. Yeah. It's just safetyism. I mean, I just saw somebody, like, it popped up on my Facebook feed, but it was some leftist that, like, covers comics, and they were talking about, like, the Phineas and Ferb Marvel crossover they did a couple years ago. I never really watched Phineas and Ferb, but, it was they did crossovers with other Disney-owned properties, and the villains there were, like, Venom, MODOK, and I think Red Skull. And she's like, how come they put a literal Nazi in with the Red Skull, or in this kid's show? And I'm like, my God, sweetie, you would die if you saw what we watched as a kid.
Yeah.
But actually, I left the comment. I was like, well, you don't understand. See, someone's got to explain to the kiddos why coins have ridges.
It's just like these people, so like we had death and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't just mean the classic death of Optimus Prime. I mean, in G.I. Joe, like go back and rewatch that. Like, people die. Like, we
had theological discussions in the X-Men cartoon. There is a scene where Wolverine accepts Jesus. Yeah. There is a scene where we're talking about, like, Mr. Sinister before he became Mr. Sinister, like when he was living in, like, the 1800s or whatever. And they're talking about Charles Darwin's theory and whether or not it disproves God. And they're having these philosophical fucking discussions on creationism versus theistic evolution in a fucking kids show. Because they didn't treat kids like they're retards. And guess what? Kids are retards, don't get me wrong. But you're not supposed to treat them like they're retarded, because that's how they stop being retarded.
Dude, so I know you don't have no kids or nothing, so this doesn't touch you. Got a breaking fucking news for you. So just today, my wife took my daughter down to the play group, right? They get sent through a bunch of all of the, like, medical educational stuff that they got to do for all of the rural kids, because we're so far from fucking civilization in the outback. And they give this paperwork to my missus, and she reads it, and she comes back and she's like, Liam, you're right. I'm so sorry. You're right. I'm not going to let Elle near the phone anymore. It's this study that was sent out mandatory to all education centers here in Australia, saying that you're no longer allowed to be using, like, tablets and stuff in the education of these like young children between the ages of 3 to 6, because they've got proven cases that it means that the white tissue or whatever it is in their brain isn't developing anymore. So, like, the IQ of, like, Australians is currently, like, insanely low in this area. Like, kids don't know how to think anymore. And so like it was like an emergency letter that they sent out to fucking all the educator stuff just today. So like fucking, they've rigged these phones and shit to be addiction machines. Parents are giving them to their fucking kids, right? And they've made everyone fucking retarded, literally, right? And the kids are dumb. They can't handle things. They can't process their emotions because they can't learn anything. They got no emotional discipline and shit, and they're going to be stupider. And now my country's freaking out and worried about it. So, yeah.
If I had a kid, I understand that it's easy to say what you'd do if you raised a kid. I understand that.
Yeah.
But if I had a kid, there would be no fucking there'd be no smartphone. Period. When you're a teenager, maybe you can have it. There would be maybe internet in like a computer that's in a family room, limited access. We would mostly be doing DVDs and stuff. And I understand that it's easier to say these things and do them.
Oh yeah,
like,
and
you gotta do these fucking things because like you can't stick your kid in front of Coco Melon and shit.
This is why my wife and I get in, like, we don't fight, you know what I mean? But this is what we disagree on. And it's like, she agrees, but then goes behind my back is the problem. So like, basically the issue is I believe that I've got all these DVDs and shit. I've got like Sesame Street, Children's Entertainment, everything, right? You know what I'm like. I'm a mega fucking physical media nerd. And I'm like, hey, Elle can watch anything I've got here because I know it's all good or, whatever. And, but Elle, because all of her friends at school, their mums and everything, let them just watch the phone. And so she just wants to watch Cocomelon. She wants to watch all this stuff, and she calls those normal shows. And even though she likes the shows we've got here, she loves DuckTales and all this other stuff, because her friends at school don't see them or know what they are, and all they know is like fucking the best thing that she's got is Miraculous Ladybug. That's the only thing that is, it's not even good. It's just not bad. And like, that's the only thing her generation has that like isn't just a 3-second fucking clip that's just pure dopamine bullshit. And I say no to my wife, like, do not give her the phone.
Yeah,
and I'll go into the other room. She'll do it. And I hate it, man. I fucking hate it.
Parents used to worry about like the messages in these shows and that whether they were, bad or whatever. And a lot of them were, don't get me wrong. But it's like, I would rather have a kid watch the worst shit lib thing on Cartoon Network that's basically about how that little boys should cut their dicks off than have them watch Cocomelon. Because at least it's putting thoughts in your brain. You know what I mean? They're bad thoughts, but it's better than nothing. It's better than turning into a fucking zombie. They have these little kids raised on this Cocomelon shit that are like 5 years old and they can't talk.
Yeah, that's what this letter was about. They're like saying that's what they're saying. Like the white matter in the brain isn't developing in our youth. Like it's a major problem. That's fucking scary. That's de-evolution. That's literally we're devolving.
I got a copyright strike because we played some Cocomelon last time and I've disputed it. And again, everyone involved in Cocomelon, I mean, if despite my general libertarian tendencies, if I was in charge of America, everybody involved in Cocomelon would be arrested and executed right now. Because I've never seen bigger crimes to children. I would rather you show horrible, explicit things to children. I would rather you traumatize a child than suck their brain out through a straw. Like, what do you like? This is unacceptable on any fucking level.
And these are the guys that are going to be running the country. Like, so we've infantilized ourselves, which is our own fault. You and I, we grew up the generation where we grow up doesn't mean we have to go away from the things that we grow up out of the things we love. And I think that's still a good message. But from there it became, well, you don't have to grow up at all, which was the next generation. And then you had the next generation, which is like, well, why even have a job? Just live with your parents. And now we've got a bunch of guys that are like 20s, 30s living at home with their parents that don't want to aspire to have anything or do anything. And a system that makes it virtually impossible for those who want to do anything to basically be able to do it. And now the generation following them, like Elle's generation, they're all going to be fucking retards with like 20 points of IQ lower because they've never learned how to think, and all their answers are just whatever fucking Grok or fucking ChatGPT tells them. Like, they literally don't need to problem solve. They took problem solving out of school and just have research. Like, this is how you Google the answers for everything.
It was about 10 years ago, because we were still doing the Saturday streams here. And it was still when I had a big panel thing. But we were covering this thing where a college professor was talking about how he used to, I think it was history, because he used to have like an essay question that would be something goofy like write some alternate history thing, like what would the world be like if World War I didn't happen, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and or it would be like some boring essay about like, you know, tell me some really dry horse shit, you know, the shipping patterns of 1890 or something, whatever, you know, it would give the option there. And he said when he started that, most people wanted to take the fun one. Like, yeah, I want to do the fun bullshit imaginary one because that's fun. You know, you just had a big history final. You want to, you know, take the fun question. He noticed with Gen Z in particular, he was noticing in late millennials that they were taking the fun question less and less. And he likened it to, at the time, things weren't this bad, but still he was like, you know, he just called it too much screen time. But he was like, there's a bunch of kids out there that never played. They were just constantly entertained.
Yes.
You know, they didn't, in our age, I mean, yeah, we watched a lot of TV and we played our fucking Nintendo and shit like that. But like,
yeah,
that only went so far. Half the time you had to go outside and make your own fucking entertainment. Or you had some toys and you had to tell yourself a story with them. You know what I mean?
Or you were playing games sitting next to someone who would thump you in the arm.
There was social,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. There was social aspects, or even if you were just alone, you had to entertain yourself somehow because there was just nothing on TV, or you were sick of the 3 games you had, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that stuck with me all these years later. I was like, yeah, that could be a real fucking problem. And I mean, now we have just, again, I know I'm harping on it, but like this, the Cocoa Melon shit, where it's just, we overuse the term brain rot, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. It's abuse is what it is. It is evil abuse. And it's scary. I mean, I've done child education classes because I had to do that when I was teaching kids to read, when I was like using comics to teach kids of like victims of abuse and stuff, and like, you know, how to, you know, read basically and how to better themselves. And I look at fucking the shit that's like being shown to my daughter's friends and stuff, right? And it's empty. It is devoid of anything. And even modern Sesame Street is a dopamine trap right now that has like, if you go back and watch the old Sesame Street stuff, you'll see that they had all these segments with kids where they were like doing the alphabet or playing in a field or building a chair or whatever it was. They were like, there were social elements. All of that is gone now. And it is just colorful shapes and repetitive music and just hyperactivity to the next thing. And even their education stuff is just performative nonsense. It's not there to actually educate the child. Like, it's just props rather than, you know, lessons.
So everything is tickling Elmo.
Yeah.
I was just about to bring that up. I would argue Elmo was kind of the death of Sesame Street.
Yeah, Elmo, yes. Yeah.
You know, because Elmo is just an annoying little shit. Like there's nothing to that character. Like other ones, and I know it feels silly as a 40-year-old man to analyze a fucking baby show, but other Sesame Street characters had enough depth that the handful of times you'd see them outside of Sesame Street, like say the Muppet Christmas special or something, where it's like, wow, these characters are just interacting with regular Muppets and it doesn't seem out of place. Like they're actual characters. I couldn't imagine Elmo doing that. Like everybody else would be like, shut the fuck up. Like just Elmo would be one of those moments where Kermit would lose his shit.
Yeah.
Like those classic moments where Kermit just loses
his where he's flailing his arms.
Yeah, where he's just had enough of the ridiculous horse shit around him. That would be him with Elmo.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. And it just says to me, you know, like we were very, very lucky to grow up at the time that we did, to have stuff like Robotech, Macross, to have stuff.
90s was peak America. That's why we played a dip here to get started, because 1997 is when the world peaked.
And I want to come up with a solution to this, man, where it's like, I don't want to be sitting here with you when we're 60 years old going, in our generation, we had biker mice for Mars. Yeah, like I don't want to be that, you know. I don't want to be that, you know. But I just, you know, I want to be able to
Well,
appreciate.
I'm already at a stage where I'm talking to Zoomers and I'm like, "Oh, you're 25? Yeah, when I was your age, I had sex. You
Yeah,
fucking loser."
yeah. Man, you see,
I pissed one on Twitter off. I think it was where it was like they were rambling on about, oh man, I think they're like in their early 20s, but they were talking about, oh, I remember in high school we had a Minecraft server, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. When I was in high school, I had a car and a girlfriend. You fucking fag.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh, you had a Minecraft server. I guess that's cool too.
I found a fucking gem, man. I found a fucking gem. So I got sent this fucking video to watch, and I watched it. And about halfway through, there's this blonde chick that is claiming that she's conservative, right? And she's like a full-on thought, you know, it's full-on blonde thought, fucking pathetic. And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I have to fucking send it to you. But this bitch, right? She's like, I've got a bunch. I'm a conservative. I've got people in the chat like she's Valley Girl as well. She's like telling me that I shouldn't be doing all of these streams about talking about me doing drugs or just having sex with all of these guys because it makes me look bad. Well, fuck you. I'm gonna fuck your dad, and then I'm gonna be your mom, and then I'm gonna take your phone away. And I'm just like, oh sweet. I'm just like, I thought, oh man, you've got to see it, man. It's something else. I can't believe this. I was like, so you're a stupid whore. Like I played the clips from South Park, you know, stupid whore.
She sounds pretty funny to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be.
Dad, then I'm gonna take your mom, and I'll take your fucking Minecraft server away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose, man. But go look at it, man, because I was like, fuck. Like, are you seriously claiming to be like a conservative voice, right? Like, you're a conservative woman speaking to a conservative audience, and what you're saying is, I'm going to just keep doing drugs, fucking random strangers, and posting it all over my timeline. Like, at what point are you even being conservative in any way? You know, like, you'll see, and you'll see, it's a disaster. She's got these fake lips, man, where they're all like puffy. It's like it looks like she's got collagen or Botox or whatever the fuck it is in her fucking lips. They're all puffed up and shit. I'm like, oh, this is content for someone. Like,
what's called again?
Right. What? Sorry.
What's it called? What's she called again?
I don't know a fucking name. She says in the video, but I've forgotten. Ellen something, I think.
Before you look it up, Luke, I'm gonna probably wrap things up here because we've gone.
I'll send you the video that it's from, and you can dig through and find her because it's something else. It's fucking. It's like everyone says lol cow. I looked at it. I was like, oh wow, this is lol cow. You know what I mean? Like this is like 2 weeks from Andy Warski squatting on a fucking counter burning himself with cigarettes as his eyes dart all around from coke. You know what I mean? Like,
I remember when he set his nipple hair on fire. That's classic Warski.
Yeah. I got the same vibes from this. From this bitch. I was just like, oh, this is Medicare. Like, if Jim was healthy and found this, you know, like. Oh goodness.
Well, we've gone on for about an hour and a half, so I'm going to wrap this up. Yeah. So, folks, if you enjoy the content, streamlabs.com/thebeglov, paypal.me/thebeglov. And I got a link to the Amazon wishlist down below, too, if you want to buy me some dumb shit that I like. All sorts of comics on there. All sorts of comics on there. I got a buddy working on a new bookshelf for me, too. So, because my omnibuses and trades and all have vastly outgrown my bookshelf. So,
I just want to make sure that chat understands not to fuck anyone's dad. Like, if you're fucking someone's dad, you're on the road to nowhere. Don't do that. Don't. Just so I'm clear.
Well, I don't intend to fuck anyone's dad.
Yeah.
You too,
Layman. I want to hear from you too. I want you, Layman. I need you to tell me you're not going to fuck anyone's dad, man, before we end this stream. I need to know.
I promise I will not F anyone's dad.
Okay. All right. You guys in the chat too. I want to promise.
I can't promise
a solemn vow.
I can't promise I'm not going to fuck someone's mom while their dad has to watch. I can't make that promise. I don't intend to, but I'm not comfortable making that promise. Like, you know, I'm not taking it off the table.
Oh, I try to type in "mom and dad, I'm conservative," and the first thing is Candace Owens.
I'll find you the videos when we get off the stream. I'll send it over. But yeah, we got a couple of promises. Good. I see
All right,
some
people in the
there's
chat
some
are
people-
promising. Excellent.
Yeah, but not everyone in the chat's promising. I'm not seeing anything from Thomas Crown.
I'm
Thomas
not here to
Crown's
judge
not
you.
making the vow. He's not doing it. He might be fucking someone's dad right now.
He might. I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. While he's listening to this fine program, tell your older lover boy that he should send me super chats because he's probably got money.
All right, good.
All right, folks. Like I said, if you enjoy the content, down below is ways you can support the show. We will be here every Wednesday night, God willing, at 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's about it for tonight, folks. I want to thank everybody for watching. Beglov out.